Independent member for Mildura, Ali Cupper. Hello again.
Hi, Ricky. How are you?
Good, thank you. And there's someone to say hello to your constituents in the Birchip area, Sandy Pollington. Tell us a bit about it.
Yeah, that's right. So Sandy is just, she's a dream come true for our team. So she is just this really amazing package of skills and experience. So she's an agronomist. She is a Ngunnawal farmer. She has extensive experience in customer service and working in small rural communities as part of the Neighbourhood House Network. She's a superstar, and she's just got such a lovely manner and way with people. And yeah, she's an extraordinary asset, and she'll be there staffing our Birchip electorate hub 3 days a week.
Yeah, so this Birchip electorate hub, you've started this off how long ago, and what hours is it open?
Yeah, so it's a good question. How long ago? COVID has really messed with my ability to assess time.
That's all right.
Not as good as I used to be at that.
I couldn't find something in the pantry on the weekend. That's how much it's messed with my head.
I'm just thinking maybe 6 months ago we might have opened the hub, but it was really just open on Wednesday mornings for a couple of hours because that was as frequent as we could be, as in my team travelling to Birchip. But from now on, and since we're actually starting this week, from Monday to Wednesdays, from 9:30 until 2:30, our electorate hub will be open in Birchip, and our Mildura crew, at least a couple of members of our Mildura crew, and me as well, if not always, as often as I can, will be there still on Wednesday mornings for a few hours. So we were hoping that sort of helps us to stay connected with and be available to more of our electorate. It's really challenging, in an electorate that's so bloody big in size, especially when the main centre is Mildura, which is not right in the middle. It's actually right at the top, with a three and a bit hour drive to the next nearest place. That having a hub in Birchip is really going to help us sort of spread our time and our resources a little bit more evenly. We're very excited.
Yep, so the staffing-wise, people from Mildura and yourself will be there sometimes, but Sandy will be there for, all going well, for all of those opening hours.
Yeah, all those opening hours, and definitely once a week. We'll continue to some of the Mildura crew will definitely be there once a week. Consistently. So. And because our very big electorate just got bigger as well with the last redistribution. So, Donald and Charlton are now going to be a part of the district of Mildura. So having that hub there as well, just to be closer to some of those new parts of the electorate, will be incredibly helpful. And it's just not, the times that I am in Birchip, even if it's just for a few hours, it's just such a luxury. It's like, we can just, nick over to Wycheproof or go over to Ngunnawal or, go and check things out at Sea Lake. It's just such a luxury to be so central, even just for a few hours a week. And so certainly we'll have more of that happening now that we've got Sandy on board, and hopefully it's the same experience for people in those towns in relation to me. They can say, we can go to the electorate hub. It's not a 3-hour drive away. It's now just a 20-minute drive. Yep. We think it'll work well.
Now, I imagine it won't be hard to find, but just the address, just so people are aware where to go.
Yeah. So it's 31 Cumming Avenue, Birchip.
All right. Now, speaking of people coming on board, your RateGate campaign had some support come from an independent candidate for the federal electorate of Mallee, and to push that campaign for federal funding for councils.
Yeah, that's right. So which is great. So I was just so delighted to have Sophie agree with me that rural and regional ratepayers are copying the short shrift. We're paying in my electorate. I have 4 local government areas, and we've got situations where ratepayers are paying up to 6 times the amount that their counterparts in a metro council would be paying on properties of the same value. It's just not fair. There's this concept, called horizontal fiscal equalisation, which is a big, complicated bureaucratic term, but it's pretty simple, which is that, Australians across the country, or Victorians across the state, should be paying about the same amount for the same essential services. That's kind of the basic definition of a fair go, and it's not what's happening. And so, we are, I am dedicated to flying that flag and making that known and putting a bit of pressure on some of the other MPs, whether it's state parliament or federal parliament, who claim to be representing regional people who seem to be quite content with the status quo. I am completely bewildered by that. And look, I, as a sole independent in Victorian Parliament, I can't unilaterally control how the system works. But look, my theory is, and my view is that, if I just keep flying the flag and beating the drum, eventually someone's going to listen. And it's really great that Sophie stepped up.
Yeah, that's Sophie Baldwin, the independent candidate for Mallee. I love it when people talk vertical and horizontal fiscal equalisation. It just gets my pulse racing.
You're such a nerd, Ricky. You're like me.
Now, just speaking of not so much the nerdy business, the important business of heading to Melbourne, you're off for the sittings of Parliament, the first ones for 2022.
Yeah, that's right. Yep, back in the big house. So, and hoping that, touch wood, that maybe we get a decent run on it this year. It's just been such a trauma. Through the pandemic, and I'm obviously one of the lucky ones. At least I've had a stable income. But are we going to Parliament? Are we not? Or if we are going to Parliament, the flights are all completely skew-if, and we're having to stay for extended periods of time, and for me, away from my son, because the airport and the airlines can't provide the same level of support, and then for me having to then I think I'm the only MP in the state who has to do it, flying there and then having to go through an international airport twice, with in a pandemic. So there's been these really complicated circumstances where every trip has been a major negotiation about what we do. But yeah, look, this sitting, it's all systems go. I'm really excited to be back, and we'll keep pushing our interests, the interests of the Mildura electorate in Spring Street.
Thanks very much, Ali. Good to catch up with you again, and good to know there's a presence there in Birchip and the surrounds for people to check in and catch up with Sandy and yourself and others in the local community.
Thanks, Ricky.